Hello, thank you for joining me. So I have a client who submitted this potential problem, and what he's trying to do is he's trying to orient this one part, which is called the gland, very simply just called the gland. It goes in front of a hydraulic cylinder, kind of keeps the cylinder piston in place, and it contains O-rings and various structures on it in order to allow the thing to function properly. And these O-ring cavities are on the inside and the outside of this gland. So the desire here ultimately is to be able to make this part, which was drawn with sketched and modeled in the wrong orientation. You must have this flange portion on the right hand side rather than the left hand side. And justification is easy enough. What you want to do is be able to have these things import into your assembly under the right orientation. It's all part of the design intent. When you try to put these things together, you got to think about what the orientation of your parts are going to be. So when you get to the point where you're putting this together into an assembly, that you don't have to go through that extra step of having to rotate these things and modify them and reorient them to make sure that they're pointing the right way. Fair enough. You know, it's a worthy thing to do. So the desire here is to take all these features on the original one, which is the gland SolidWorks part, and I renamed it gland 2, and I reoriented some of this stuff. So if you take the rollback bar, you can see what we did here. The base is extruded, nothing really need to be changed there, and there's a hole that went all the way through that, so that didn't need to be changed. Boss extrude 2, I really like to rename these things, and when we get a chance I will probably rename that, but that's the flange. And what we did is we took that off the left, the plane over here, this surface over here, and then mirrored it, or not mirrored it, but just put it on that surface over here. We just edited the sketch plane, and so on and so forth. That was a typical scenario that I went through to do this. So all the way down to feature manager tree, everything worked out pretty well. You just picked a different plane. But down here in cut revolve 2, what we have down here is a sketch that kind of got all goofed up here. All these structures used to be on the inside over here, and if we go over here to our original model and take a look at that, yeah, you can see it's all on the inside. All these dimensions, such as a 1/2 inch dimension over here and this 1/8 inch dimension over here, are still over here, but they're now on the other side of the model. That's going to take a little bit of editing to try to get that thing fixed. So not only do we have to get these dimensions fixed, but then we have to flip it over. Probably use a sketch mirror to do that. So what we're faced with here is not a real big dilemma. It's not a real big time waster, but there's got to be a way to be able to import geometry from perhaps this model, the original model, to that model, at the same time flipping it. So one possibility that I've been able to find that we might be able to do is just take that cut revolve 2 and actually import it over here. So let's take a rollback bar, roll that back a little bit, and see what we can do. If you press the control key and grab that feature and drag it over here, we should be able to get that to import. You have a couple different choices here. We can delete and the sketch, the dangling relations, or we can dangle them and then just go back and fix it. Either one of them would probably be good. I'm going to do dangle because it's going to go ahead and keep some of that geometry. But then it says here select the planar, cylindrical, conical face in order to put that feature in regard to getting the sketch going. And we haven't done that, but if we went ahead and started this and put a sketch in here and put in some reference geometry and try to do that, what we still have is a sketch that needs to be kind of fixed. So the question to the group is, how can we do this effectively? We can probably do it on the sketch level and do some mirroring and ultimately like a fully defined sketch. This sounds like maybe 5 minutes worth of work or so in order to get that done. It seems like there should be an easier way of doing that, and that's the question posed to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide these on the website, the gland and the gland 2, so you can see where I'm at with this. I have an error down here that probably could be resolved too, but that's going to come with the error. I'm going to keep that there, and I'll put links in the recent email and on the website to these documents, and we'll see what we come up with for next week's meeting. And after that, I'll go ahead and make another video and show everybody what the solution to that problem is.